What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on that video. My name's Tanner. I'm a creator for the fitness industry, and today we are back with editing photos like a pro, episode 4. Man, I love doing videos like this because I think it's just so interesting to just get like an insight into someone's mind whenever they're going through a creative process like this. This video is going to be about photo editing, and I'm going to do some graphic design too. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this first photo. For this photo, I started off by playing MGK's Spotify list just to kind of get my mind right for this. Decided this image was a good base to start editing. This is Raw Nutrition's lifting straps. I gave this a 4x5 crop since this is going on Instagram. All these photos that you're gonna see have a 4x5 crop because I'm putting them on Instagram, of course. And obviously it's way yellow. Went ahead and cranked that temperature all the way to the cooler side. The gym had LED lighting, but the sun was just beaming through those windows. So everything looked like if you ever wore like a white shirt over and over and over again, and you just sweat, like you sweat. You know, it dries and it gets like that yellow. That was like that everywhere. That is so gross. Tanner, stop talking. I then added some light coming in from the top and just refined the overall sharpness and richness of the product itself, and then I threw it into Photoshop. And if you're someone who wants to make content, whether it's photos or videos, or I mean even like design a website for a company that you like, be sure to do your research first. See what they're already doing, see what their style is, see what their tone of voice is, and see what just everything looks like. That's just because whenever you're finally finished with your photo or your website, whatever, it's gonna be seen in a better light, and it's gonna make you look like you know what you're doing. And who knows, if it works out, if you've done it right, if you've done it well, you could work something out with that dream company of yours. So I noticed on Raw's Instagram, they're doing a mixture of black and white and like colorful or like vibrant photos. So I decided this is gonna have a colorful version and a black and white version. I even tried going on their website to try to find that typeface that they're using for their website, but I was rushing myself. I gave myself like a whole 10 seconds and I didn't find it. So I just chose the first one that I saw that looked similar to what they use. I added in some product information, added in their website, threw in some textures, and I have an image that ended up looking like this. The next photo, same product, just a different angle. I kept the editing style pretty much the same, and what I mean by that, I just copy and pasted all the edits that I made in Lightroom onto this photo, but I went a step further and just made it look like his skin was like illuminating or glowing from the light in the scene. I just felt like it needed that little, just, you know, that little glow, and I feel like it's looking immaculate compared to just like where we were at the beginning. For the light, same thing. I just made it look like there was this Pro Mist filter on my camera, and if none of you use cameras, a Pro Mist filter is just like a lens filter you put on your lens, and it makes it look like that there's mist or a fog in the air. So if you're ever driving on like a foggy day and you can see that glow, that haze around light source, like I'm reaching for my light right here, I'm not just like reaching up into the sky, you know, when you're editing photos and but yeah, whenever you see that mist around that light source and it's kind of like a haze, that's basically what I'm doing with this, because that's what a Pro Mist filter does. Tanner, you're talking too much. After that, I went in and started to remove some of his extra bracelets that are from other companies, because when you're doing like product photography for a brand, if there's not a collaboration going on, you don't want to have any other brands like showing face in there. So remove some other distracting elements from the photo, added in pretty much the same text, made a black and white version, and here's these two photos that look like this. Before I show you the last one, here's a few other shots that I did. Their explanations just didn't make it into this video. If you would like me to do a video on these and just show you how I did these different effects, let me know in the comments down below, and that'll be the next video. All right, time for the final raw photo. This one's gonna be different. It's a lifestyle shot of the shirt that Ken was wearing. I began by giving this a nice 4x5 crop, and then I went to crush the highlights. And then I did something a little weird. I went down to the curves area and I brought them back. And I only did this because whenever you're adjusting anything on the curves area, you're actually working with different settings simultaneously. So whenever I bring up the highlights, I'm also increasing the whites, messing with the exposure. You don't see that on the sliders themselves, but you can see it in the graph of the curves. I went to the complete opposite side of the curves and I lowered the darks just to give it this dramatic effect. I then went a step further to manipulate this light by creating a radio gradient up top on the overhead light to really make it look like it's illuminating Ken, really just lighting up this gem. And then to further enhance this effect, I used linear gradients on the bottom corners to darken it, and it really makes this light just pop. And to further enhance this effect, to really just like bring it home, I took a brush and outlined Ken with it, and then I adjusted the overall brightness in different levels just to make it look like he was kind of glowing, how the light would, since it would be brighter up top. I went through just adjusting the overall aggressiveness of the background, giving it the attitude that I really wanted, and then I made the light look like it was just shining off of this metal, and then I threw this into Photoshop. For this photo, I knew I wanted to create like something of like a rectangular frame effect, just to kind of hone in everyone's focus onto Ken. Throughout some of the cropping, I had to end up using AI just to kind of fill in some of the missing areas that I just cut off. But once I got it to a place where I was happy with it, I wanted this photo to also celebrate Ken having 3 months until the Midwest Regionals powerlifting competition. So I thought, let's just throw the text on there of like the event itself, but give it a typeface that seems to evoke like a sense of respect, or something that says, hey, this is a really big deal. Maybe a sense of luxury or some kind of premium feeling. Ambroise was a typeface that I thought really just fit what I was wanting, and I've never even heard of it until I was working on this project, so I'm kind of glad that I stumbled on it. The rest of this though was just getting all the positioning right, adjusting some smaller details. Here's the original shot, and here's the finished product. And that's the video. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you learned something new, and I hope that you just had a good time watching me edit some photos and seeing what I can come up with. If you liked anything that you saw in here, go ahead and crush that like button, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss videos like this in the future. If you want to see anything that I'm working on right now, you can find me on Instagram at theycallme_Tanner. You can also find Ken at FatSwoleLifts on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to see anything that I've been a part of in the past, you can go to my website, theycallmetanner.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope they have an excellent workout. Hope they have a wonderful meal. And hope they have a nice night. I'll catch you next time. Bye.